Thank you all for being here today. It's an honor to speak with you about something that's not only crucial to our lives, but also within our control, our well-being. You see, life is tough. No matter who you are, where you come from, or what you've been through, it doesn't take long to figure out that we're all going to face challenges. Sometimes life hits hard, and it doesn't ask if we're ready. It doesn't care if we're prepared. It just keeps moving, keeps throwing obstacles our way. But within all that, within the highs and lows, there's something we must protect, something we must nurture, something that belongs to us, and that's our well-being. You don't need $1 million. You don't need to be famous. You don't even need to be the smartest person in the room. What you need, what we all need, are some simple acts that, done consistently, can change the way we see the world. They can help us feel stronger, calmer, more connected to ourselves and the people around us. And here's the best part: these acts don't require superhuman effort. They don't demand that you drop everything and move to a mountaintop to meditate for 6 months. No, these acts are small, but their impact, it's huge. They can change the way you live your life. So I'm going to talk to you about 14 little acts. 14 simple, easy to do things that can boost your well-being, not just in the short term, but in ways that last. Now, when I say little, I don't mean insignificant. I mean things you can do every single day without turning your life upside down. These are acts that fit into your regular routine, and each one of them on its own might seem small. But when you put them together, when you weave them into the fabric of your life, that's where the magic happens. The first act one want to talk about is gratitude. Now, I'm not talking about the kind of gratitude that's reserved for big, flashy moments like winning an award or getting a promotion. I'm talking about finding gratitude in the everyday, the little things, the things we often overlook. You know, sometimes we get so caught up in what we don't have that we forget to appreciate what's right in front of us. We forget to be grateful for waking up in the morning, for the roof over our heads, for the food on our tables. Gratitude shifts your perspective. It takes your focus off what's wrong and puts it on what's right. And that change in perspective, it's powerful. It can lift you up when you're feeling down. It can ground you when life feels chaotic. The second act is moving your body. I don't care if you're an athlete or if you've never stepped foot in a gym in your life. The human body is made to move. You don't need a trainer. You don't need fancy equipment. All you need is yourself. Take a walk, stretch, dance in your living room like nobody's watching. It doesn't matter what you do, just move. Because when you move your body, you're not just taking care of your physical health. You're doing something for your mental health too. You're releasing stress, clearing your mind, and boosting your mood. Moving your body is an act of self-care, and it's something that we all need to do more of. Third, I want to talk about connecting with others. We live in a world that's more connected than ever before, yet so many of us feel isolated. We scroll through social media, seeing the highlight reels of other people's lives, but we don't always reach out to the people around us in real, meaningful ways. It's not about having 1 million friends or being the life of the party. It's about finding your people, the ones who see you, who understand you, who you can be your true self around. And it's about nurturing those connections. Call someone, have a real conversation. Put down the phone and look someone in the eye. Those connections, they matter. They're a source of joy, of comfort, of support, and they remind us that we're not alone in this journey. Now let's talk about the fourth act, spending time in nature. There's something about being outside, something about feeling the sun on your face or the breeze in your hair, that just resets you. It's a reminder that we're part of something bigger. It's easy to get caught up in the hustle and bustle of everyday life. But when you take a moment to step outside, to breathe in the fresh air, to listen to the sounds of the world around you, it's like hitting the reset button on your mind and your soul. You don't have to hike a mountain or camp in the wilderness to get the benefits of nature. Just step outside, sit on a bench, take a walk through a park. Let nature remind you to slow down, to breathe, to just be. The fifth act is practicing mindfulness. Now, mindfulness doesn't mean you have to meditate for hours on end. It's simply about being present. So many of us live in the past or the future. We dwell on mistakes, on things we can't change, or we worry about what's coming next. But the truth is, the only thing we have is this moment right now. And mindfulness helps us focus on that. It's about being fully engaged in what you're doing, whether it's eating a meal, having a conversation, or even just washing the dishes. It's about noticing the small details, the sensations, the thoughts that come and go. And when you practice mindfulness, it has a calming effect. It helps reduce stress, and it allows you to experience life more fully. The sixth act one want to talk about is getting enough sleep. We live in a culture that glorifies being busy. We wear exhaustion like a badge of honor. But sleep is essential. It's when your body heals, when your mind rests, when your soul rejuvenates. You can't function at your best if you're running on fumes. You can't think clearly, you can't make good decisions, and you definitely can't enjoy life the way you're meant to if you're always tired. Prioritize your sleep. Create a bedtime routine, make your sleep environment comfortable, and protect your sleep like your life depends on it, because in many ways it does. The seventh act is something we don't always think about when it comes to well-being, and that's kindness. Being kind to others, doing small, thoughtful things for the people around you doesn't just make them feel good, it makes you feel good too. Kindness is like a boomerang. It comes back to you. When you're kind, you're spreading positive energy into the world, you're making a difference no matter how small the act may seem. Smile at a stranger. Hold the door open for someone. Send a message to a friend just to let them know you're thinking about them. These acts of kindness, they have a ripple effect, and in a world that sometimes feels harsh, your kindness can be a beacon of light. The eighth act is learning something new. It doesn't matter if it's a new skill, a hobby, or just a random fact. When you learn something new, you're expanding your mind, you're challenging yourself, you're stepping out of your comfort zone. And that's good for your well-being, because when you stop learning, you stop growing, and life is about growth. It's about pushing yourself to be better, to do better. So pick up a book, take a class, watch a documentary. Feed your mind. Because the more you learn, the more you realize how much there is to know, and that curiosity. That's what keeps life interesting. The ninth act is letting go of what you can't control. Too often we hold on to things that aren't ours to hold on to. We stress about things that are outside of our control, and that stress eats away at our peace. But here's the thing, you can't control everything. You can't control how other people act. You can't control what happens to you. The only thing you can control is how you respond. So let go of what's beyond your control. Focus on what you can do and let the rest go, because holding on to that stress, that worry, it's like carrying a weight on your shoulders that you don't need to carry. And when you let it go, when you release it, you'll feel lighter, freer, more at peace. The 10th act is setting boundaries. Boundaries are not walls. They're not meant to keep people out. They're meant to protect your energy, your time, your well-being. Sometimes we feel guilty for saying no. We feel like we have to be everything to everyone. But you can't pour from an empty cup. You have to take care of yourself first. And that means setting boundaries. It means saying no when you need to. It means knowing your limits and not being afraid to stick to them. Boundaries aren't selfish, they're necessary, because when you honor your own needs, you're better able to show up for others in a meaningful way. The 11th act is practicing self-compassion. We are our own worst critics. We beat ourselves up for not being perfect, for making mistakes, for not living up to the unrealistic expectations we set for ourselves. But you are human. You are allowed to make mistakes. You are allowed to have bad days. Treat yourself with the same kindness, the same understanding that you would offer to a friend. Speak to yourself with compassion. Forgive yourself. Give yourself grace, because the way you treat yourself sets the tone for how you allow others to treat you. And when you practice self-compassion, you'll find that your relationship with yourself and with the world around you starts to shift. The 12th act is simplifying your life. We live in a world of excess stuff, excess information, excess demands on our time and attention. And all that excess, it's overwhelming. It clutters our minds, it drains our energy. But when you simplify, when you let go of the things that don't serve you, you make space for the things that do. Simplifying isn't about deprivation. It's about focusing on what's important. It's about removing the distractions, the noise, so you can focus on what truly matters. Whether it's decluttering your home, cutting back on commitments, or just giving yourself more time to breathe, simplifying is an act of self-care. The 13th act is practicing forgiveness. Holding on to grudges, holding on to anger, it's like drinking poison and expecting the other person to suffer. Forgiveness is not about letting someone off the hook. It's not about forgetting what happened. It's about freeing yourself from the weight of that anger, that resentment. Forgiveness is an act of liberation. It's saying, I'm not going to carry this anymore. I'm not going to let this control me. And when you forgive, you're not only freeing the other person, you're freeing yourself. And finally, the 14th act is living with purpose. We all need a reason to get up in the morning. We all need something that drives us, something that gives our lives meaning. It doesn't have to be grand. It doesn't have to be something the world recognizes. Your purpose could be raising your children. It could be creating art. It could be serving your community. Whatever it is, find it, nurture it. Because when you live with purpose, when you have something that gives your life meaning, it gives you strength, it gives you resilience, it gives you joy. So there you have it, 14 little acts that can boost your well-being. Gratitude, movement, connection, nature, mindfulness, sleep, kindness, learning, letting go, boundaries, self-compassion, simplifying, forgiveness, and purpose. None of these acts are complicated. None of them require you to overhaul your life. But when you incorporate them into your daily routine, when you make them a part of who you are, you'll find that your well-being starts to shift. You'll feel lighter, stronger, more at peace. And remember, life will always have its challenges. But these small acts, they're your tools. They're your way of taking care of yourself, of protecting your peace, of building a life that feels good from the inside out. So start today. Start where you are with what you have. Take one small step and then another. And before you know it, you'll be on your way to a life filled with well-being, with joy, with purpose. Thank you.